Attention business owners, are you ready to turn your purpose into powerful publicity? Tune into the Business Block, Purpose to Business with Stacey Thomas every Monday at 6:30 a.m. on Cool 101.2 Pop. We spotlight entrepreneurs, change makers, and passionate business owners just like you. When you advertise, you're not just on the radio. You're featured across social media too, amplifying your brand far beyond the airwaves. Call 804-214-6241 or visit IamStaceyThomas.com to book your spot. Cool 101.2, where your passion becomes your platform.
Hey, everybody. This is I Am Stacey Thomas. For those of you who are new to watching, we're streaming on IG, Facebook, and YouTube. And you can also catch it in your car on Cool 101.2 Pop, right? The radio station for the Business Block Show. This is a segment of the I Am Stacey Thomas Show. It's called the Business Block, where we promote entrepreneurs, business owners, and change makers in communities. Tonight, I am joined by a special woman who's doing big things in Richmond, Virginia. Let me bring her on. Hello.
Hi, Stacey.
Kim, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
You're well. Kim, we've met in person once. We've talked a couple times over the phone. You've got a beautiful smile, a beautiful spirit. So let me say thank you for even coming on my platform to share what you're doing in the city of Richmond and beyond.
Well, thank you for having me.
No problem, sweetheart. You know, this happens, and people may hear me say this all the time. Whenever I go online to interview, my nose starts bothering me. No other time. So please excuse me.
It's okay.
You, Kim, have come to Richmond, Virginia, and you're running your own management and promotion of musicians. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what's the name of it?
Rizing Starz Presents. Rizing is with a Z, Starz ends with a Z.
Wow. So before I even get into what made you create this business, you're very interesting. You were 10 years old. I'm taking it back now because you put it in your bio. You were 10 years old and you were playing musical instruments, not one, but more than one.
Well, I started off with just one. I started playing the flute when I was in elementary school. By the time I got to junior high school, I had already learned how to play the sax and other woodwind instruments. I didn't actually start playing oboe until high school, but I learned how to play a piccolo, sax, clarinet, all woodwind instruments, period. So, yeah.
So I guess it's safe to say that you're just gifted in music.
I'm gifted in other ways as well, but yes, music, I am gifted in music. I have a passion for it. I've been playing music and singing pretty much my entire life. So yeah.
Pretty much your entire life. So explain to me, like in your bio, you spoke about growing up in a legendary place. What was that?
Well, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and Arts High School of Newark, New Jersey is actually the very first performing arts high school in the country. Wow. So, some very interesting people have graduated from the same high school. And it wasn't just where you would have to go and audition, and just because you were good in music, art, or drama. Those were the three majors they offered when I went. They have a whole lot more now. You also had to be intelligent as well. So you not only had to audition, understand music, you also had to have a level of intelligence. So there was a written exam as well as audition just to get in.
So we go back to Kim Baker was just playing. She was just gifted in music.
Well, I love music. It is a passion for me.
Wow. So when did you decide? Well, let me say this. Have you ever been out solo doing anything for yourself, or has it always been you promoting others?
Well, I love music, and I actually love to perform music, but I prefer to do more of the business part of it. And so I don't really want to be out front. People always say you should be out here singing and doing this, and why aren't you playing somewhere? That's not the part of it that I have the passion for. I have more of a passion for the business part. I like working with musicians, developing them and promoting them. And I get a joy out of doing that because I've seen people transform one way with where they started, having very little experience. And then I've watched them grow into somebody that's a truly great entertainer. So that I am passionate about.
Wow, I love that. And because you have been gifted with the blessing of with music, that's a plus, I would assume, in helping you choose who you will work with in your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe everyone who truly has a desire should have an opportunity. And before getting them out there on stage, I prefer to work with them and get them stage ready. So some people have this misconception that, well, just because I can sing, I'm just going to get out there and sing. Well, you need to be able to be on stage and look like you know what you're doing, because other than that, you'll get laughed off the stage. So I prefer for artists to be professional. I want them to make sure that they are performance ready. So they have the look that they need, they have the sound, and they're not just going to sit there like a bump on a log.
Wow.
So all of that comes with developing the artist.
Wow. When you tell people who you are they surprised that you're not just a beautiful face that happens to be a person that happens to be intelligent, but that you know so much about music?
Well, thank you for the compliment, by the way. Sometimes I do. People, when they hear that you're managing artists, because most managers for artists aren't actual musicians. So I do get a lot of people, if when they're talking about music, they don't expect that I would know what they're speaking of. And so, yeah, I get it a lot that people don't understand that I actually do know what I'm talking about when I say I understand music. I've grown up with it my entire life. I went to a performing arts high school, so I actually know how to read music. So if I hear a chord or something and I talk about it, I know what I'm speaking about. So I find a lot of musicians and even people, that aren't musicians are very surprised.
Wow. And then so you haven't always been in Richmond, Virginia, but you decided to make the move to Richmond, Virginia. Was there were you surprised about the artists in Richmond, or what was one of the first things that you took notice about in the community in the city of Richmond when it came to arts?
Well, when I came here, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that there is a huge amount of talent right in the city of Richmond. Again, I grew up around musicians, so I've never seen so much talent in one place. I mean, I grew up 20 minutes from Manhattan. So I know, there are a lot of musicians, up north. But when I came here, just right in the Richmond area, I met some fantastic vocalists, instrumentalists, and people that really, really enjoy doing what they're doing as far as music is concerned. And they were operating at professional level, and performing well. They're not just mediocre musicians. So I was very pleased to find that here in Richmond.
That's nice to hear you say that, because there's so many, there's quite a few people that believe who have the gift of music, have the gift of acting. I've heard people say you can't do it in Virginia, but here you are, someone who knows how to promote a person to help you get your music out, sitting right in the city of Richmond.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I enjoy here, is the fact that there's so much talent. And being able to help people get out there and promote their talent. I really want people to come across well when they get on stage. And it's a good feeling when I see them, start from somebody who's really, really shy, doesn't really have as much of a stage presence, and then a few months later, it's like they've completely blossomed.
Wow.
So I do like to see that.
Was it hard when you came to Richmond to fit in with the artists, with the community? Well, were they welcoming to a new person?
Well, I think people were welcoming. Musicians kind of have this unspoken communication deal going on, because you can tell when I go to a club or somewhere where I'm listening to live music, it's not my gig, I'm just there. I can always figure out who the musicians are.
Okay.
And then if I have someone with me, they'll see that I pretty much know most of the musicians in the building. It's because it's that bond. You kind of know who's who, and then you figure out what they do, and they understand that you're part of a community and you think like a musician. So when I go to a club and I'm listening to a group or a vocalist or someone, I listen very differently than most people, because I hear what's going on with the music. I understand the chord progression. I understand a weird chord, but it sounded so good and I get excited. So I tell guys all the time, if the band is good and we're going to hear live music, I'm going to be a bad date, because my focus is going to be, and it's not that I want to not pay attention to them, but you brought me here to hear a live band who's fantastic. I get, everything turns on. It heightens very, very much so when I'm around live music. So, and then the people who actually appreciate that, the musicians themselves, they figure out who you are relatively quickly. So they'll embrace you as long as you build rapport with them. They'll embrace you. They don't just kick you to the side. They'll embrace you. And I found that that was very welcoming, to know that people are like that they won't just dismiss you. Of course, you have some people that they don't feel like they need to embrace you, but that's okay too.
Wow.
I just figure out who not to be around and who I can come around and just enjoy what they do.
Wow. Hello, Cyrus Webb. That's my PR person. You know what? Let me tell you something. When you get ready to promote your artist, I want you to Google Cyrus Webb. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna write that down right now.
I don't want you to. You need to Google Cyrus Webb. That is the platform. If you believe in your artist and you want to promote them, contact Cyrus Webb. And if Cyrus says he's enjoying a show, hey,
thank you.
Let's keep it going. So you created Rizing Starz, right?
Yes.
Tell me, what is it that you want? What do you want people to get from joining your group? Coming up under Kim Baker, what should they expect?
Well, first, I want people to understand it's about being professional.
Okay.
I don't operate on any unprofessional level at all. So I want people to understand that when you are presenting yourself as an artist, that is a business. It is not just entertainment only, it is a business. So I want them to understand that not necessarily they have to function and do the business part of it, like their own booking and calendar and so on and so forth. That's my role. But understand your approach to the stage, your approach, your behavior each time you're at a function. All of that needs to be professional. So that's what I want people to primarily take away from working with me, but then also gaining an understanding about what they're actually doing and better ways to promote themselves, really. Okay. And then if they're interested in recording, helping them understand that their sound that they get when they record can either make or break them. So it's important for them. Okay, you can't just go to anybody's studio just because they bought studio equipment. You have to understand whether or not that engineer knows what he or she is doing with that equipment, because when you record, if they don't understand how to mix it properly or master it properly, it's going to sound horrible and it's not going to match what you do on stage. So, all of the making sure that artists understand what it takes to get to where they want to be I want to help them get there professionally.
Wow, I love it. So you've become one of the local favorites. So obviously the people have accepted you, right? You've done shows like the Women of Richmond Who Rock
Yes,
and Night
yes,
Tracks.
yes.
Please tell me about that.
Well, the Women of Richmond Who Rock, that is a baby of mine. And all of the ladies that have participated in that, we still have a very close bond. So we came up with the idea that we wanted to do a show that featured all women performers. So, and we had a female artist host the show. And so we had women from all genres of music. It featured Lucy Kilpatrick one year. We had Lady E. I don't know if you know who Lady E is, but she is like famous for the blues here in Richmond. And we've had people from the group of Foxy. We had Parthenia Wallace and Joyce Cook. Shells Hunter has participated. We've had so many females that performed. Terry Harris is another one. Ladies, I'm sorry if I didn't get your name, Carlita, whoever else. I can't get it all in. But they came and they come together. We take about 6 to 8 weeks to practice all the way up to the show. And when we got to the show, they showed off. I was so proud of these ladies. We've done it twice here in Richmond. I plan to bring it in 2026 again.
Okay.
And we've had Clovia Lawrence host it for us.
Wow.
And it's literally, it's a fantastic show with all women. There is no big person on the show. They're all headliners, every last one of them. So I'm giving them a hand because
right.
And we have that helped bring us together as female vocalists and artists in Richmond. Lucy Kilpatrick actually plays keys. So, and then, letting them know that just because one person may have a little more experience, it doesn't mean that they're more important than anybody else who's up and coming or have been out here. They've honed their craft and we show it off. And because it is a show about women, we take time to honor at least 3 women within the community that have made a difference. And we don't necessarily look at, they got their own store or businesses. We look at the mom who looks out for all of the children in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So, that kind of person who's really invested in their community. So we honor them with a statue or a trophy. And, we invite them to enjoy the show and they become part of the Women of Richmond Who Rock family.
I really, really love how you described it, what you're saying. And I would like to know when you do it again. But something that you said, I really love. I've been looking at groups of people, singers, and you hear each one of them have a great voice. Mm-hmm. And I've often wondered to myself, how hard is it to stand in the background and allow one person to shine? So when you said everybody's a headliner,
that's right.
That's a great thing.
Yes, it is.
So you're bringing entertainment to Petersburg, Virginia soon.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about what's coming up.
Well, Sir Jonathan Williams, who is a longtime employee of Sugar Hill Records, and he is still with Sugar Hill Records. Most people knew him as a musician. However, they never knew he was also a vocalist. Wow. So he's releasing a single on the 21st of this month, but he's going to be introducing it in Petersburg. And we figured what great way for him to introduce that single than to bring him home. So on December 14th, we are going to have a concert with Jonathan Williams performing his newly released single, as well as other standards and so on and so forth. And we have 2 additional vocalists that are going to be there, Michael Theory, and also the sister of Jonathan. We call her Bertine. So they're going to be on the show as well. So, and then we have, I can't forget him because I never get to put him on the flyer. DJ Blues is going to be doing our sound for us and DJing. He is fantastic as a DJ, as well as he's a bass player. He's a former member of Trussell. Wow. So we have a star-filled night. There's going to be food, fun. Lisa Presents is the name of the event center. And Miss Lisa is fantastic. She is also preparing the food. So we're looking forward to it.
I do hope I can attend the event. I do. And Kim Baker, the number that we have on the screen, if someone wants to know about what kind of talent you're looking for or what kind of talent you represent, is that the number they contact you on?
Yes.
And my last question for you, beautiful, is as you continue to bring music and shows to Richmond and the local areas, is there a dream that you have for just your company or a dream for the city of Richmond or both?
Well, really for both. I would hope that every musician that I encounter would embrace what we do, what we're bringing, and understand that we don't have to be like crabs in a basket. We can work together. We just need to recognize the talent or the gift in each other and do it well together. We don't have to act like we're all in competition. We can bring it together and have people enjoy what we do. So that's my motto. Enjoy the show when I have one.
Kim Baker, this has been great.
Thank you.
This has been absolutely great. And it's even like better because now I know, because I talk to local artists sometime and people that I know. So, the next time someone says they have a dream, but they don't know if they should pursue it because they're in Virginia, I'm going to ask them, have they ever heard of Kim Baker?
Oh,
and let's see what happens. Take care of yourself, beautiful. And I do hope to see you soon. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Attention business owners, are you ready to turn your purpose into powerful publicity? Tune into the Business Block, Purpose to Business with Stacey Thomas every Monday at 6:30 a.m. on Cool 101.2 Pop. We spotlight entrepreneurs, change makers, and passionate business owners just like you. When you advertise, you're not just on the radio. You're featured across social media too, amplifying your brand far beyond the airwaves. Call 804-214-6241 or visit IamStaceyThomas.com to book your spot. Cool 101.2, where your passion becomes your platform.